suffocates, whisper in the hall, where justice wears a mask and truth begin every lie left to believe. Oh, the devil's in the details, hiding in plain sight, innocent until the gavel steals the light. True crime echoes through the hollow night, fighting injustice with no end. The devil's in the details, hiding in plain sight, innocent until the gavel steals the light. True crime echoes through the hollow night, fighting injustice with no end in sight. A photograph fades where the truth once stood. Blurred lines between the bad and the good. The scales they tilt with every silver tongue, while the broken cry for a song. Like shadow on the wall, one wrong word and the mighty fall. Who's a sinner? Who's a saint?
Hello, if you guys can hear me out there, stick a one in the chat. We're we're having some technical difficulties. Okay. All right. So, welcome to the Devil's Advocates. Like I said, having some technical difficulties here. Lee and Joe are at the hotel. If you guys don't know, you're just getting clued in here. They are on their sort of anniversary tour in Moscow today, actually for the next couple of days. So, um, seems like the reception at the hotel isn't the greatest at the moment. So that's why you have me. So I'll do my best to get things rocking and rolling here. We, of course, have our usual suspects on the panel tonight. And let me just see. Looks like we have Jason backstage. We have 1-1. We have
I'm
Joe. Oh,
backstage on the
there he
phone.
is. There's
Try again. These fucking hotels.
It's dropped me twice. It's dropped me twice, and so I'm probably more stable with this fucking cellular connection. Fucking irritating. Robin's got it.
You don't have any other.
Hey, Robin, am I live? I'm live, aren't I?
Turn
bear
off
with
your
me
Wi-Fi.
here, folks. I hope everyone's been having a pretty good day out there.
I think I'm on camera on the live right now.
Are you?
Yeah, I think our conversation is going.
Patience. Okay, there he is. There's the man of the hour.
Can you hear me? Can you hear me? Can you hear me?
Okay. Bear with us here.
Hello, everybody. Can you hear me? Amanda, see, I think I'm on stage. For some reason, Robin wasn't hearing me, so everybody's hearing me talk from the bathroom to Joe in Idaho and fucking shitting on the pardon my French. Shelby is confirming, yeah, you can hear me in the echoey toilet room of our hotel that has such crappy service that I literally cannot stay connected to my computer. So I'm logged in on my phone from the shitter. Wow. And I'm the only one on screen, and I have no control because I'm not in as the administrator of the show. It does not get any better than this, people. It does not get any better than this. Live from Boise, Idaho, it's Wednesday night. Good to see everybody. It looks like even Robin, who's running the channel, just got kicked out. This is super awesome. At least we know why Brian's phone wasn't connecting to anything in Idaho. That shit is awesome. Awesome. Yeah, you could not. I shid you not. I'm in a shitter in a hotel room. The shower is bigger than everybody want to join me in the shower? I'm in the shower of a hotel room. Yeah, so this is my life. If you can hear me, Joe and I did go by CUNA, the Idaho State Correctional Institute, walked up to the gates. Joe was like, we should just drive up and tell them that we're CIA here to see Brian Koberger. They let us right in. They're like, hey, we're with the CIA. We're here to see Brian Koberger. They're like, yeah, open the gate. Anyways, that did not happen, but it came close. We thought about it. Joe did actually ask me to do it. I just told him I didn't have the balls to do that kind of thing. So the acoustics have got to be horrendous, Jules. How bad is it? And what? See, here's the thing. I've got no effing control of my show. So I can't put anybody on stage. I'm all by myself in the toilet, all by myself. Like the echo. There's Robin. Hey, Robin. Nice to join you. I was all alone singing in the shower. So there's that.
Do you want me to bring up the other guys?
Do what you can. I can't do shit. Well, I mean, I can do shit. I'm sitting in a toilet. But,
all right.
Yeah.
Well, let's bring up Mr. State of the Deep himself. There we are. Joe, how are you?
Hi, Robin.
Can you guys hear
My
Joe?
life.
I'm
I heard a Joe.
backstage.
I heard Joe. No, Joe, you
Oh,
were on stage. You were on
okay,
stage.
good. Hi,
For
everybody.
God's sake, don't say anything embarrassing.
That's going to be hard.
That's what
Okay.
she said.
So let me bring up Mr. 11 here
What else do we got? Who gave me? Oh shit.
and Mr. SD's Crime Maze himself, Jason.
Hi,
We
everyone.
may have another person join us on stage as if we need more confusion. I'm not entirely sure, folks, how bad the echo is. Let me take a moment. Robin, do you have pretty good controls, and you can give one
Yeah.
control here in a second? Okay.
Yep.
So some of you may already know we lost a member of the true crime community. One is wanting to do some special words, and I'll let him do the whole thing. I didn't have any real personal interaction with this person. I want one to take the whole wheel, so I'll let Robin put him up on stage in a minute. I hope, Robin, you've loaded some of the assets that one wanted backstage, or maybe you can work with them. But I just wanted to say, all kidding aside, I mean, things are going wrong. We're in a hotel room. We're in Boise, Idaho. Joe and I are starting our trip, but the logistics haven't worked out so great. I'm in a super echoey bathroom. But all joking aside for a moment, let's take a moment, let one come up, talk about the member of the true crime community that we lost, and take a moment to be serious for a moment before we get back to goofing off, because I really don't want to make light of this situation. So Robin, go ahead and bring him up.
Okay. 11, go ahead. You should be able to go ahead.
Yeah. Hi, everyone. How's everyone doing? Hi, JJ, SD, Lee, Robin. So yeah, today, unfortunately, we got some sad news. We lost, I think a pretty good pioneer in the true crime community. Um, Unfortunately, we did lose Tommy Jude from uh, you know, uh, Once Upon a Crime Time. He he was really big in the community. From what I know, I think he succumbed to lung cancer. I don't know if he had other issues besides that. I watched many of his videos. I believe you did too, Robin, right? As well. I know
Yeah.
you were a
Yeah.
fan. So
Yeah. Oh,
I
yeah.
I don't know if I don't know if I've watched every single video that he has done, but he really was really big into getting down to the you know deep facts and really trying. He would listen to any theory and whatnot, and he was really
Yeah.
trying to get to the bottom of the Idaho 4. It really, struck a nerve in him, and
Yeah.
hopefully one day we do find out what happened. But I just, it's too bad if we do get the actual truth as to what happened and whatnot, that he wasn't here to see it, because he has hundreds of videos on this stuff and whatnot. So um there was
Yeah.
a few things. I know, Robin, if do you have access to the folder, to the
Yeah.
are you able to?
I'm
So
working on
so
downloading it right now.
okay.
Bear with me
um
a second here, guys.
so yeah,
Yeah, I know.
yeah, go ahead.
I was just going to say, I know. I didn't know a lot about Tommy Jude. I heard Tommy Jude's name a lot. I know that several people on my show that were subscribers said you should get Tommy Jude on there. And then one night, just recently, Tommy Jude was featuring a clip of Birdie and I talking. And someone said, "Hey, Tommy Jude just said he wants to go on your show or have you on his show or whatever." And I saw the clip where Tommy said, "Yeah, I need to get DA on the show." And we reached out to him, and didn't get a response. I got a hold of Birdie, and Birdie's like, "Yeah, he's not doing well, man. He may have done his last show." And then I got the news today. So
Yeah.
Yeah,
He
I went.
such a
I saw his last show. It was pretty sad.
okay. I'm gonna try to present that.
So
I don't know. Can you guys see that?
nope. Well, it looks like
yeah,
something's loading. Yes, we see a picture of Tommy
yeah.
Jude. Yeah.
So there's a
Yep.
picture of Tommy Jude. Yep. And then
He was
if
okay.
you wanna
And
if you
then
open the text file, there's a text file in there that has like three links
yep.
to play if you could play those. They're short, you know. They're
I
three
will. I
short.
tell you. So hold on a second, Rob. I don't know how familiar you are, Robin, with StreamYard, but the links again, it's a trick. The links, if you don't do it right, will not have sound. You have to share each individual tab of the browser that has the link to get the sound to play. You can't share screen sharing. You've got to do it very specific. So I know you're not super
Okay.
familiar with running the show, so it's not going to be as easy as just clicking the link and playing it. You're going to have to stop sharing the
Right.
screen and then reshare the tab specifically that has the video with sound in it.
Oh crap.
I know. Nothing like putting you on the spot when
Oh, that's okay. Hey, as long as the audience doesn't mind, I don't care about learning
Yeah.
on the fly. This is for a good cause. Tommy, I'm trying to do
Yeah.
you proud here, bud.
Yeah.
So, how do I share the link though? Do I hit present again?
yes, present and then share screen, and then one of the options will be share a tab, and then you have to find the tab that has the video link that you want to play. And then of course you've got to add it to the stage for us to see it. Nothing like sitting in a hotel room with bad internet, trying to give somebody IT support on a phone when I can't see what you're looking at.
Okay. Share screen.
Yeah, it's for a good cause. So
Ah, did I do it?
we don't see it on screen though.
Ah,
Pardon me. There you go.
Yeah, there you
Now you've
go.
got like a TikTok or Instagram something or a YouTube short up.
Yeah.
now play.
Now you just
Can you
got to
hear
make
it?
sure we
out
got.
of the car and she walks.
Yeah.
That's who it was that was walking that I showed in the earlier video. Okay, it's back at 15 times speed. But look at the flashing here. Look at the
Can
flashing.
you hear it?
Yep.
Look at that. Look at that flashing. Why would they be flashing coming from inside a house? It also will show Molly driving and getting out of the car, and she walks. That's who it was that was walking that I showed in the earlier video. Okay, it's back at 15 times speed. But look at the flashing here. Look at the flashing. Look at that. Look at that flashing. Why would they be flashing coming from inside a house? It also will show.
You gotta load another. It's only a
Yep.
small
Yeah.
clip. Then go to the other
Yep.
clip.
Yep. That's what I'm doing. Bear with
These
me.
are just small. Yeah, these are just little clips. Just you know, highlighting him. I said they're short.
Okay, now. Thanks for all your patience, guys, while I'm
You're
learning
doing
this.
fine. Yeah, you're doing great.
I appreciate it.
Not always easy. Like doing it on the fly.
I intended to do it, but I had my internet
I
crash twice
know.
on me. So.
Yeah.
They didn't have him until then? I mean, is that a joke? Are you fucking serious? Here's an ex, right? That she had just left, and she's taking the dog and moving to Texas with some dude or whatever. If that's true, I'm not sure. Some people say, oh, it's what's her name? But what I've heard is she was actually moving in with some other dude. Yeah, and that you're probably right there, Coco. Makes me wonder if the fingerprints were taken because of Anne's perp she submitted. Now, but they didn't have them until then? I mean, is that a joke? Are you fucking serious? Here's an ex, right? That she had just left, and she's taking the dog and moving to Texas with some dude or whatever. If that's true, I'm not sure. Some people say, oh, it's what's her name? But what I've heard is she was actually moving in with some other dude. Yeah, and that you're probably
You know. And
Okay.
there's
All right. And then there's
one more
one
clip.
more.
One more
Yep.
clip,
Hang
and
on.
then yep. So those of you guys in the chat, just bear with us. This is important
Thank,
to.
yeah. Thank you guys for hanging in there with me.
This will only be a few minutes, and then we'll get on with the rest of the show.
they do their investigation, they put up crime tape, and they're gone and they're out of there. They don't have someone sitting there watching the place to make sure that, nobody goes in there. Just weird. I've never seen it before. I've never seen that before. I mean, to actually hire a police officer or security officer to sit there and watch the house. How many murder scenes do you see, red rum scenes, do you see that the police stay there until it's tore down? I mean, usually they do their investigation, they put up crime tape, and they're gone and they're out of there. They don't have someone sitting there watching the place to make sure that, nobody goes in there. Just weird. I've never seen it before. I've never seen that before. I mean, to actually hire a police officer or security officer to sit there and watch the house. How many murder scenes?
And then the last thing I want you to play. I know you. Well, I know Lee and JJ. I know you guys were scrambling, going all over the place. So I don't know if you guys have a drink or not, or something. Um, but this is like kind of a toast to Tommy Jude, and just wanted to have kind of a moment of silence to him. I'm I'm a huge wrestling fan, so I thought that this would fit the purpose. Um, for someone that was such I think a pivotal role in the true crime community. So whenever you're ready, Robin.
But yep. I just have to find the right. Okay. Bear with me. don't know why it's not playing sound.
It is.
It is.
It's playing.
Oh, okay.
Right. That's what we call a 10 bell salute. It's usually when they lose someone important in wrestling. I felt that the having a 10 bell salute, to Tommy Jude was worth the cause. So at least we know he's not suffering anymore. I'll end. I have a little short thing to read, and then we'll go on with the rest of the show. So this is called Tommy Jude, the voice for the lost. Uh, put this down. In quiet rooms where echoes fade, Tommy Jude walks unafraid, files in hand, a steady gaze, tracing truth through tangled maze. He speaks for those the world forgot, for shattered hearts, for names now blot. Each story heavy, cold, and stark, he brings them justice, lights their dark. No fame he seeks, no bright parade, just justice, balance, truth displayed. Through case and clue, through fear and grime, he hunts the pulse of every crime. Late night glow and coffee steam, he chases ghosts inside the dream. Each headline whisper, each silent tear becomes a mission loud and clear. For every victim's stifled cry, he lifts his voice to question why. Tommy Jude, not saint, but flame, burning fierce in truth's good name. So here's to hearts that won't give in, to those who fight where lies have been. And here's to Jude, whose steadfast art turns pain to purpose and truth to heart. Be well, Tommy Jude.
Here, here.
Thanks, one for sharing that moment. I know that you knew him a lot better, and some of you in here probably watched a lot of his stuff. So I didn't want to be the one to do it. I don't feel it would have been the same from somebody who really didn't know the channel as well. So I'm glad that you were able to say some words, and the bell was very significant, and I appreciate everything you did for that. And so I don't want to jump right into levity and humor and stuff like that as often we do. If anybody has some words they want to say, I mean, I realize this isn't the easiest way to do it. Robin, if you can post the invite link if anybody wants to come up and say anything about Tommy Jude, we can take some time still to do that. If everybody turns us down and doesn't want to do that, we'll move on, but we'll ease into it rather than jump right into turning a somber moment into something that's disrespectful. So does anybody, do you want to post the link, Robin, for people to be able to have a chance to jump backstage or no?
Yeah.
Keep,
Yeah.
keep in mind, if we,
absolutely fine with me.
if we do post the link, yeah.
No, I was just gonna say, Tommy, where do I find the link to post it?
Go to the present button, and then it'll say invite guests, and then it'll give you you can copy the link and paste the link into chat. Anybody that wants to take that link, you don't have to get on the camera. You can just use the microphone. So if you're camera shy, you can just keep your camera off and just make sure your camera's off before you go live, and you'll go backstage, and then Robin can see that you're backstage, and you can come up if you want to say anything.
There we go. And Tommy was one of the most generous, kind, caring people you will ever want to meet. He just gave of himself to the community of true crime, to his family, to his friends, and he is going to be so missed. Just tremendous person. And I'm just very honored that I got to watch. Oh, I'm so sorry, guys. Jeez.
No, it's all right.
It's all good,
Uh,
Robin.
that I got to watch him over the past few years, and I mean, I didn't really speak to him, but as many of you know, you get to know the creators as people, and just the amount of hours he spent on his craft, and it truly is a craft. And he was so generous of his time with bringing on new talent, as he always called it, new talent.
Yeah.
Um, I mean, there's a lot of creators that almost every show there was at least one new person that he wanted to highlight, whether it was somebody on TikTok or YouTube or wherever. He gave credit
Yeah.
to any creator, and he wanted to help people succeed, and just tremendous man. So
Thanks, Ron. Does anybody else in on the panel know him? And again, it sounded like Jules may have wanted to come up and say something. And again, take a moment, Robin, be listening to see if anybody does join, and take
yep,
the link to
I'm
join
ready.
backstage. Anybody else on the panel want to say any words about Tommy Jude? Do you know him at all, or you want to say anything? Or so again, I know that for a lot of people, it's going to be an emotional, news and day. So again, I feel like it's a little heavy of a topic to make light of. We started off kind of in a humorous mood, and then I kind of like, oh yeah, shit, we have like serious news that we have to cover. So I'm going to give a moment or more longer just to make sure nobody else wants to come up, and then we'll move into more of an official thing. Now, I will tell you, we're still waiting to see if anybody comes on, but I will tell you that I'm discombobulated. I'm out of sync. This was supposed to be the easy part. I was supposed to be able to stream from the hotel room with Joe. We thought we had it going. Granted, we probably pushed it a little closer than I wanted to. We only got here about an hour before the show. I would have liked to have a little bit more time to make sure we worked out those kinks, because as it is, we started to realize the kinks about 10 minutes before going live, and then had to scramble to stick me in the toilet room to have a chance to quit echoing off of his microphone. To let you know again what's going on, is anybody, did we get anybody, by the way, that came in, Robin? Are we good to move on?
No one has
Okay.
wanted to come up. So
Okay, fair enough. So to let you know what's going on, Joe from State of the Deep, we met at CrimeCon Aurora, Colorado, 2025. Met there, bonded over some few drinks. As Joe said the night that he met me, he said, "Hey, I see you're coming to Aurora. I'd love to meet you, but I want to make something clear. I'm not a fan," which I will never forget the way he said that. I'm not a fan. And I thought, wow, what a weird introduction. Hey, I want to meet you, but I'm not a fan of yours. And I think I understood what Joe meant. He was like, I'm not a fangirl, a fanboy. I'm not coming here to like, oh my God, I get to meet DA. It was more like, hey, we have things in common to be kind of cool. Since you're in my area, I'll stop by and say hi and have a drink. That turned into one of the most crazy conversations where Joe and I were just riffing so fast. It was like, oh my God, we could be here for 8 hours and we'd still probably be only scratching the surface of what we have in common. It was a great thing. Penny, who was in the comments as well, Penny was there as well from Idaho, and we're in Idaho. Funny enough, we're in Idaho where Penny was at, and Penny also came to CrimeCon and met up with us, spent a night with us down in Denver, where Joe showed us around Denver because he's kind of a Coloradoan, if you will, knows the area, spent time there. And so, as you know, Joe has become a regular panel member. As everybody on this panel right now has become kind of regular panel members. Anyways, Joe recently had said to me, I haven't taken a vacation. I should come out your way. I've never been to Moscow, Idaho, never been to Pullman. I'd like to see these places. How about November 12th? And I was like, yeah, I think that date's available. It didn't even dawn on me that the 12th/13th was the anniversary at the time that he said it. Hey, why don't I come out on the 12th and the 13th of November? And I was like, yeah, I think I can make that work. And then he's like, yeah, I think it would be probably a good thing considering it's the anniversary. I'm like, holy shit, like it's the 3-year anniversary of one of the most tragic, crazy, wildest murder mystery cases I've ever seen in my life. The amount of alternative theories in Idaho 4, I can't think of a single murder off the top of my head that has as many legitimate alternative suspects as this case has. I mean, usually you have a murder in which you suspect it was somebody else, but you can never prove it, and it's usually somebody else. It's a person. I think it was so and so, but we can't prove it. This case has about 12 people you think might have been able to have done it, and had motive, and had reason, and had opportunity. And yet we're still confounded, as even a lot of us who are sitting here today are saying, even after the guy said I did it, there's a lot of us who just don't believe it. And there's the large part of sheeple in the United States laugh at us for not accepting the conclusion. He said he did it, so he did it. Not understanding that people plead guilty all the time to things that they didn't do. Brian Kohberger, in my opinion, and I'll say it a million times, never had a fair trial. That trial was a sham of a trial. Hitler was running a joke of a trial. Personally, I feel Hitler should be prosecuted or looked into for judicial misconduct. I think that trial was a sham. I think Kohberger never had a fair trial, and he had no choice but to plead guilty because they were going to kill him. And I suspect his parents may have begged him to live and take the option to live rather than, because they're going to execute you. You aren't going to get a fair trial. That's my feeling. You may all think I'm going to pack sand, but I will tell you one thing. As I watch people in the media tell me what an idiot I am for not accepting that he pled guilty and he's the creepy dude that did it, it's so obvious. If I ask them some of the basic questions of the case, they can't answer. And then I realized, you in America are not qualified to tell me I'm a piece of shit if you don't even know the fucking basics of this case. And I'm sorry I'm dropping F-bombs, but don't tell me I'm a piece of shit for presuming that maybe Brian Kohberger pled guilty because it was an unfair trial, and you don't even know the basics of the trial. When I can ask you simple questions and you can't answer, you're not qualified to call me a piece of shit. So, for what it's worth, we don't know. Brian Kohberger may have done the things that he pled guilty to. He may have. But I have more questions, I think, today than I did going into this case. As more documents get released, I keep coming up with, oh my God, you lied about this. You lied about this. That PCA that led to the arrest and ultimately the guilty plea was a joke. No magistrate should have signed off on the PCA. Had they known the lies that were in the PCA, which had been proven to be lies, I don't think any judge would have signed it. But the judge was lied to. The warrant went through for the arrest. And once that was done, it was a foregone conclusion. They were never going to give him a fair trial, and down he went. It's 2.5 years go by. Brian Kohberger always maintained his factual innocence until at the last minute he shocked everyone, including the prosecution, by accepting a plea deal. Shocked everyone in America. And for a lot of people, they're like, well, yeah, we always knew he was guilty. You didn't pay attention. You did not pay attention to that trial. So now on the anniversary of Idaho 4, Joe and I from State of the Deep, many of you guys as well have encouraged us to not give up asking questions. So Joe and I are going to walk the streets, Moscow, Idaho, Pullman, Washington. We're going to drive the route that Kohberger allegedly took. We might go by Brent Kopacka's apartment, where they say that Brent Kopacka was shot and killed a month and a day after the murders. There's speculation Brent Kopacka may have been in the car with Brian Kohberger. Hell, Brian Kohberger may not have even gone that way. He may have gone to
We have
Memorial
an echo
Park.
going on.
All right. Hello?
Okay, does it seem to have stopped now?
How bad is the echo now?
Seems
So yeah,
okay.
you should just come share my microphone, and there won't be any delay or echo.
Uh,
I could crank up my mic. It'll pick us both up.
well, I mean, you want to take over my monologue? I mean, I was just explaining what we're doing. I mean, Joe, you're on this trip as well. I can just shut my mic down. I can come over there and let you continue to talk about what we're doing here, and I can shut this mic down.
Oh, we just
Yeah,
lost
sure. I'll say
Jason.
a couple things. I had been interested in checking out Idaho before the trip. You know, I'm rather before the murders happened, and I came out to Boise, Idaho. Boise, rather, as they say it here. I say Boise. It's Boise.
Wait a second, Joe. Okay, now try it again.
Okay. Can you guys hear me? Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. And so back in, I guess it was probably about
We're still echoing.
2019. You're still getting an echo from me?
I don't hear an echo on you.
I don't know. It's weird. We're getting like a funky thing going on here. But I will just say that I came to visit Idaho just because I was curious about the place. I had never been here. And I spent about 4 days in Boise, Idaho, and just to check out the city a little bit, cruised around different parts of the city just to kind of get familiarized with it. And then I thought, man, you know, I really would like to come back sometime and check out different parts of the state. And so when the Idaho 4 case came up and they started, you know, every content creator, every news station had people boots on the ground like day and night in Moscow, Idaho. And it was just like little seemingly remote town, remote college town. And as I've followed the case all along, I've wanted to kind of come back to Idaho to check out the area, different parts of the state. And then when DA and I started collaborating together, I thought it would be a really kind of interesting thing to come here for the anniversary of the Idaho 4 murders. And that's kind of how it all started. I put the bug in his ear and I was like, yeah, I can probably get off, take a long weekend. And that's sort of how I planted the seed. And then that's how it all started. And that's how we ended up making this trip happen. Now I'm a little bit faded right now because I'm running on very little sleep from, you know, being up late and getting up super early and having to drive 130 miles to the airport and whatnot. But I'm hanging on as best I can. DA, did you want to try to see if we can do it from this mic?
I'm trying to see if, yeah, so I muted my microphone.
Because I'm getting an echo if you got your.
Do we have an echo now?
No, I hear you guys.
No,
Yeah, this
you're
is
okay.
a cluster for me to do this.
Okay.
Yeah, I don't.
You actually.
I don't know how feasible it is for me to do a
sounds.
stream like this.
Wait. I'm not getting you through the headphones.
Yeah.
I hear you.
You guys,
Yeah.
You guys may have
Yeah.
to go without me. I don't know. Or I need to go put on shoes and walk around.
Or we can take turns. We could hand off the headphones and the microphone. Here, TA, everybody, I wanna introduce you guys. The Devil's Advocates. We're gonna pass the baton.
No, I'm gonna walk outside. I'm gonna get my jacket on. I'm gonna walk outside. I'm gonna turn my microphone.
Okay.
I'll go for a walk. Give me a second. You got the call on, sir.
Yeah, we're sorry for the technical issues. We're basically set up on the little shelf in the hotel room. They didn't even have a table here. It's just like one of those little countertops along the wall. It's like really narrow, so there's not a lot of room. And I had to get creative. I had to clip my boom mic onto this thin little glass top, like plexiglass top of this shelf when we got here, and we were like, oh man, this could be tricky. I'm sitting, by the way, just so you guys know, I'm sitting on the refrigerator from the room.
That's awesome.
I literally am
Folks,
sitting on the refrigerator,
thi-
and it makes a funny noise.
Well,
this is dedication, folks.
yeah, I was gonna say that. Look at the dedication.
Yeah, it's interesting. I was like, DA, there's only one seat in this place. And he goes, no, we have that other chair. That other chair is like 7 inches high from the floor. I'm like, dude, I don't think that's gonna work, man. I don't
Can
think
you
that's
hear? Can you hear me by the way now or no?
Yeah,
Yeah.
we hear you
That's
fine.
good. I'm gonna walk over to the Spearmint Rhino. I think is what it's called. it's
Oh boy.
it's a gentleman's club. Because that'll go along with
Maybe
my theme.
See, what do you know?
maybe
DA booked us right across the street from one like the biggest strip club in Boise. What are the chances of that?
You picked the location, so you gave me two hotels. Both of them are by a titty bar. Anyways, so no, just so if the sound's okay, I've moved away. I'm walking the streets of Boise. I'm walking the streets tonight. Anyways, so you did a little bit of explanation why we're here, what we're doing. I wanted to make sure that people knew, and even though we don't have a lot of people in here right now, that this is a good opportunity. If there's something that you want looked at, I don't know that I want to broadcast where exactly Joe and I are every second of the day, because that might be bad for our health. But I don't plan on driving around with a sticker on the side of my car that says suspect vehicle number 2, even though I really wanted to. I don't think that's probably a good idea in Moscow, Idaho. Since I have a white Camry, it probably would look a little bit too much like a white Elantra.
I thought you were gonna put a sticker that said "Pain, catch me if you can."
Yeah, that might not go well. I mean, I don't know. I mean, maybe he has a sense of humor. I don't know, but anyways, so yeah, so I apologize for, as I sound that you guys are all done, for the technical difficulties. It's, again, thank goodness we don't have 1,000 people, right? There's a silver lining. We don't have 1,000 people and going like, what a clusterfuck. These guys can't get their stuff together for 1,000 things. But anyways, yeah, so if there's anything you want us to do, we're going to spend 2 solid days. I think we may end up hell all over the place. We may end up in Coeur d'Alene. We might end up in Pullman. Well, I know we're going to end up in Pullman. We're going to end up in Moscow. We're going to end up all over the place. If there's a place that you want to see, that you were curious about, make sure you get that along to Devil's Advocates 2024 at gmail.com. Robin will be monitoring the mailbox, and I'll be monitoring the mailbox. We'll see if we can work something in. In the background, I wasn't kidding. There is the Spearmint Rhino right behind me. Yeah, sorry. Yeah. Yeah, the Gentleman's Club has Wild West Wednesdays. And no, I'm not going to go there. In case my wife is watching, I'm not going to go hang out at the titty bar. It's just a joke. It's a thing. But anyways,
Wink,
I don't have
wink, wink.
wink, wink. No, we will go have a drink, but I don't think we're going to have a drink there. So anyways, so I don't have show notes. I don't have the show notes. I will briefly introduce again the cases that I follow, but I wish we had a little bit more questions, answers from the audience so that we can talk about this. The cases that I follow, of course, are Idaho 4, which is why we're in Idaho right now. The Luigi Mangione, alleged shooter of Brian Thompson in the United Healthcare CEO case in New York. Long Island serial killer Rex Heuermann, the alleged Long Island serial killer. The Mickey Steins case, judge, or the sheriff, ex-sheriff now, who shot the judge in the judge's chambers on camera. And Tyler Robinson, alleged shooter of Charlie Kirk. I had a lot of stuff that we didn't get to on the Charlie Kirk situation. I want to briefly mention those just in case anybody has thoughts about it. The stuff I was going to show was President Trump having having Erica Kirk in the Oval Office to announce an ambassador to a foreign country, and then had her tell him that Charlie Kirk is watching over us every day from heaven. I thought that was really weird and creepy for the two of them to do that, but that's just me. But maybe that's the way we roll. I don't know. It just felt like it was just very showy, and the whole thing is just weird to me. I was going to show that clip and get your opinions on it, but anyways, I'm going to shut up and let somebody else talk for a while because I'm just walking the streets, and I'll let you guys talk while I walk.
I just wanted to jump in and when DA picked me up at the airport, and I said, "Dude, I need to get a cup of coffee, man. I'm really out of it." So we went and I got a big old cup of coffee, and we made a few stops. And then when we made our way to where the prison was, it's in the middle of sort of like nowhere in like a desert area that's surrounded by like concrete plants and like seemingly like rock quarries and mining operations. It's like a real desolate area. And there's at least two separate correctional facilities, like right in a close proximity. And we went to one of them and we're like, I don't know, what is this place? And should we just drive up and see if we can get in? It was like what looked like to be like a guard house type of place. And then we realized like, no, this can't be the main prison. And then we drove further down the road and we saw this place that looked like a way more high security place. I mean, it had how many, like probably 8 layers of barbed wire stacked on top of each other. And it looked like a more serious type of a prison. And we joked, we sat there in the parking lot. I said, let's just go up to the front and say, I'm Agent so-and-so, and this is Agent so-and-so with the Central Intelligence Agency, and we're here to speak with Brian Koberger. We'll film ourselves doing it and see how that goes over. But in the end, we thought better of it. We thought that was probably not a great idea, but that would have been pretty funny.
That was the moment Joe realized I was a giant pansy and I have no nuts to go do something like that stupid, to walk up there and be like, "Hi, I'm with the CIA. I'm here to see Brian Koberger." I have not that nerve. In fact,
Show
not
them
only do I not have
card.
right. I'll give him one's card that says I'm a friend of law enforcement. See how that goes over. Like,
Get out of jail free card.
right. Yeah, it probably wouldn't work. In fact, it was funny because I'm so self-conscious. I'm working on my confidence, but I'm so self-conscious that I decided I didn't come all the way to sit in the parking lot of CUNA's prison and not get out and film something. But I'm thinking to myself at the same time, they're probably not going to appreciate someone walking around with a video camera scoping their fence line, because they might be thinking somebody's looking for a jailbreak or something like that. We joked several times about how we're going to break Koberger out, kind of thing, which again, we wouldn't do so if we thought the guy actually did it. It was just a joke anyways. But anyways, as I'm getting ready to get out of my car with my camera, and I did walk the parking lot. I've got some raw footage, but I realized that the only 3 people I saw walking to their cars all had a black, like, prison uniform shirt on. They all were dressed the same. It had a logo on it. And I thought, shit, are we like in the employee parking lot? And as I'm walking the parking lot, I see one of the employees sitting in his car, just either on break or whatever, and he's staring at me with my camera strapped to my chest. And I'm thinking, yep, I'm gonna get arrested in Idaho. I'm walking the fence line, filming the prison from the outside, and this guy just spotted me, and he's going to be calling in right now to his superiors inside, saying, "There's some creep out here with a video camera watching our fence line." So I got my ass back to the car like a pansy, and we drove away at high speed in our white Elantra or Camry. And so
White Elantra.
That could be maybe that could be your way of seeing Hitler.
Right. You know, as an aside, I'm a storyteller a little bit, right? As an aside, do you guys remember Do you guys remember me ever telling you the story of the adult dancer, female dancer, who said that she may have given a lap dance to Brian Koberger in Pennsylvania? Do you guys remember
No,
this?
No.
I don't.
Holy shit!
no.
This is a
Fill me in
legit
on it.
story. No, this is a legit story. It was in the documents, in police documents or whatever. An individual came forward saying that she remembered Koberger at a day that she was dancing as a stripper. It was a slow day. She said this guy that she now believes was Koberger came in, sat at the front of the stage where she was dancing, stared at her creepily the entire time. And now this will be the moment that you will remember if you're ever going to remember. And I joked, I made light of the fact that she actually gave him. She said that she heard him mumbling about wanting to kill women or something like that, and yet she still gave him a lap dance. And I made a joke about how it's funny. I got to earn that money though. Like, it's like. I think he's a creepy guy and he probably killed all those girls and he's mumbling to himself about how he wants to kill people, but I still took his money and gave him a lap dance. So if you don't remember that, then maybe you guys never heard that story, but
Wow.
I remember joking about that. Yeah. So, but it turned out not to be true. The law enforcement vetted that story. She never met Koberger. It turned out to be a non-starter, but it was a real story. I only bring it up because we're talking about, whatever this purple parasaur or whatever the hell it is here in town. But yeah, I guess nobody remembers me telling that story. Like, I was more crude with the way I said it. I got a lot of laughs. However, I'm trying not to be as crude as I was that night. So, but anyways, yeah, it was a moment. It was funny.
She's
So
probably friends with Molly.
yeah. So, anyways, what else do we have? Yeah, I don't know what to say. Like I said, because we don't have the slides and I don't have a format and I don't have a clue. Either you guys need to run the show, or you need to fire questions at me, or I need to come up with questions for you. Which way do you want to go? You want to fire some questions at me, or do you want me to start firing questions at the panel that I can just make up on the fly because I'm going to ad lib this shit?
Hey, let me give one. I got something for 1-1. He'll get a kick out of this. I brought something with me. I'll just leave it at that. An accessory. And when I went to the airport, I looked it up on what I needed to do to bring this accessory with me to Idaho. And I sent DA a video of it. You have to get it like tagged, and then they send over somebody to escort you to another like bag screening place.
Yeah.
So they take you to a different, when you go through the security gate, you got to put your stuff in the bin and you go through the x-ray thing and all that. Well, before I did that, they had to take me down the hallway to this separate area to do a totally separate suitcase x-ray, and they asked you questions and shit. So it was interesting. But luckily the airport was not crowded today. It was wild. I drove straight to the airport, and I, like I said, I'm about 130 miles from the airport and no traffic the whole way. And I get to the airport, I park, tons of spots available. I get into the terminal. It's not at all crowded, which Denver airport is crazy. It's a super busy airport, and it was totally chill. No wait whatsoever. It was bizarre. It was very strange. So thankfully, that little extra step I had to do didn't delay me to get through the main security area. But one, I thought you'd appreciate that.
Yeah.
I never did it
And
before, so I didn't know.
Let me tell you a thing or two about Idaho. Well, first of all, Robin, I want to clarify. We're not actually in Moscow right now. We are actually in Boise. I live quite a ways from Boise, where the airport is, to pick up Joe. So we decided to break it up a little bit. We're going to stay the night in Boise because we did have CUNA, the prison where Koberger is staying here, plus the trial was here, or the trial was going to be here. The sentencing that I was at the plea deal, and I was at the sentencing hearing here in Boise. So, and we have a famous story that was told on Birdie's show about the Twin Peaks. Joe and I went to Twin Peaks today. I will keep that commentary on the down low. We did have a nice picture of Joe and I outside of Twin Peaks that I posted to the Discord channel. So we're actually in Boise. We will be leaving early tomorrow morning and heading to my house, which is in between here and Moscow. And then we will spend the day. Now we're probably going to drive through, because we're going to be passing through it first, Lewiston, Idaho, where there are places of interest that we will drive by and talk about on recordings and talk about in the Discord chat. We will then probably cross the river, if I have my way, into Clarkston, which is right across the river. And then we'll go up the Snake, winding along the Snake, where many believe that if Kohberger was the killer, and if Kohberger got rid of the knife and the clothes, he would have done so in the Snake River. The Snake River is the obvious place to dump something. Brian Kohberger's alibi, in part, was that he had gone stargazing that night to Wawaway Park. So what we're going to do is we're going to do the reverse trip. We're going to start down in Clarkston, Washington, where he ended up the day after. So if you know the official story, Brian Kohberger supposedly went back to the house of the murders, if he was there at all. So let's keep that in mind. Allegedly, he went back to the house the morning of the murders at around 9-ish, and then went back to his apartment, and then drove to Clarkston, Washington, where he was seen passing Kate's Cup of Joe. We'll get some footage of that. We'll go that area. And Albertsons, Costco, the famous footage of that creepy guy who went to Costco. Oh my God, he's got to be a killer. Look at this guy. He just totally walked into Costco just because after killing people, that only a creep would do that. So we're going to go to that, that area. But again, there's a bridge that crosses from crosses over to Clarkston. There's another bridge from Clarkston to Lewiston. This is all on maps that you can easily see. But we're gonna go into Clarkston. I'm gonna show them an area or two that I think are of note. We're gonna go across the bridge that some people think would be the most likely place for somebody to just throw a knife out the window right into the Snake River, all along the Snake up to Wawaway Park. And then we'll go from Wawaway Park into Pullman, Washington. Now, I used to go to school in Pullman, Washington, so I'm going to show Joe some of the old stomping grounds, places I took psych classes at, show him a little things that where I stayed at Strite Parham, which was a co-ed dorm, the Strite Parham co-ed dorms, which are kind of near, I think, where some of BK's location supposedly was, Kopaka's location. So I'll bring it all close to home with things that I've done and seen when I was going to school there. Then we'll probably go by the apartment where Kohberger stayed, Kopaka stayed, where Kopaka was shot and killed, which may be a different place than where Kopaka stayed. Some just sites of interest. We'll do a lot of recording on the scene. We'll walk locations. We'll go then probably to Moscow, Idaho that same day, tomorrow. It's going to be a long day. I'm going to wear the piss out of Joe. I'm going to make him regret coming to Boise. I'm going to have him regret coming to Idaho. I'm going to wear him down. So we'll go to Moscow. We'll, of course, drive past the house that no longer exists. The Whites, apartments, Queens apartments. We're going to go to a lot of the locations. We'll drive by and probably take a picture outside the Moscow Police Department, say hi to Payne, see if he wants to talk to us. We will probably end up sometime tomorrow night or the night after. I would imagine we're going to end up at some locations of interest, maybe a bar, maybe a truck, maybe a restaurant, locations that you should know. We may end up, but I'm not going to necessarily advertise exactly what times we're going to be at those places, just for our own safety. We won't be wearing all of our gear. However, the beauty of Idaho, we may or may not be prepared to defend ourselves. Idaho's got very, 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 very favorable laws to people who believe in self-defense. So let's just leave it at that. So anyways, we'll be safe out there. But and again, we plan on walking some routes. And then we may, like I said, I'm going to wear him out the next day as well. I'm going to try to take him to potentially Coeur d'Alene, where three, if not four, four major players in this tragedy come from. We know Jack DeCoeur and Kaylee Gonzalez, as well as Maddie Mogan, all went to school in Coeur d'Alene. Xana Kernodle, Post Falls is where she's from. However, it was a common place in Coeur d'Alene for even kids in Post Falls to come down and hang out for the summer. How exactly she met them is a little unclear, but it could have been that she came down on summers and met them or whatever. But they were all friends. There's a memorial at the river of a bench of, I think, Maddie, Kaylee, and Xana. I think it's along the river. So we may end up in these places, putting boots on the ground, just getting kind of a feel for the area, the sights and the sound. Those of you who have questions, comments, want to see something, want to have something timed, can you walk this location and time how long it takes, whatever. This is a great opportunity to do it. Again, I want to make it 100% clear that I talk forever and never take a breath. But on top of that, I want to make it clear that we don't intend to harass any locals. We're not going to knock on doors and be annoying pissants. We will try to be as 100% respectful as possible. And yeah, so this is your opportunity to, let me plug one more thing so I can shut the fuck up finally and let somebody else talk other than me, because my panel is being so respectful and I am not being respectful. So one more thing, if you haven't done so already, consider the $3, the $2.99 to become a member of the channel. You'll have access all month long, and I will post raw video footage of all of this trip. Boise, a couple days, Moscow, a couple days, Pullman, a couple days, possibly Coeur d'Alene. If you're interested in that kind of stuff, Joe and I will be talking. We've already gotten philosophical in the car, talking about a lot of things that may or may not relate to true crime. Depending on how he feels about those being made public, but that may be on the raw audio footage as well. I warn him every time he gets in the car, look, I'm recording, so if you pass gas, everyone's going to hear, so be careful. But anyways, so that's all I have to say for now. I'll let you guys, the panel, say something so I can quit talking.
I see there's a comment from Tiggle Bitties, our friend, made a suggestion if you could go to the grub truck and get some mac and cheese.
Yes. In fact, today the grub truck was closed. I hope that the grub truck will be open tomorrow. I did have somebody double check what address the location is. I think it's 318 South Main Street. So we will, as long as they're still parked there, or even if they're not still parked there, we'll find it. So, that's one of those moments. Like if the grub truck still exists, but they've moved, what's more interesting, going to where the grub truck is now or going to a place where the grub truck's not, but it used to be? So we'll see. I'm assuming it's probably going to be at the same location. I think it's been there for a really long time. So yeah, we'll go by there. I know Joe can't probably handle the mac and cheese, but I certainly can. So we'll see about that. So thanks for the suggestion.
Yeah. And
Continue your Amazon and knock on Steve's door.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I told you I was not going to be an asshole.
Don't
So
forget
you're going to
to
end up in Moscow if you keep walking, man. Where you going?
Yeah. Don't forget to do that recording of the Linda Lane walk
Yes.
tour.
Yeah, I don't know. Here's the thing. I used to go live around that area. I kind of expect a little bit of grief from people. So there should be no reason why we cannot walk down city streets. All of the streets are public streets, but I suspect we're going to get somebody who's going to pull up on us at some point, wanting to know what we're doing, asking if we're a student, and if we're not a student, that we are trespassing. I don't want to be the dick to clarify, is a public city street college campus property, and can I really be kicked off of it? That's a whole, I don't want to get into an argument about the law, but I suspect that's going to happen. I suspect at some point someone's going to be like, are you a student? Are you going to school here? Then you need to leave this area. Like that's a legal gray area, but we're going to leave that for, I'm going to hope for the best and not plan for that shit. But I won't be surprised.
But then you get your interview with Payne.
True, true. There's a few officers. There's a few officers in this case that if I was approached by them, I would have a question.
Yeah.
Yeah. So yeah, that's I'm kind of excited about it. Um, I'm looking forward to. I mean, whenever I do these kind of things, I never know like what am I really doing if I'm not going to knock on doors. I will say this. I will say this. I've had more than one person reach out to me who said, I've had two people reach out to me now who said, I see you're doing a lot of connecting the dots on Brent Kopaka. I can provide you information that'll answer your questions and prove what you're saying is true, which excited me. Excited me when someone says, you're theorizing about this. I can prove you're correct. And I'll send you some stuff. And I still haven't seen it. Two people have done that to me now, two different people. I've got the receipts. I can prove what you're saying is true. I'll send it to you. And they've disappeared. I've had another individual who said, hey, I see you're coming to the campus. I would love to meet you and share with you some inside information. And I tried to set that up. And now they've ghosted me. So we'll see if people come out of the woodwork and want to talk or whether everybody ghosts us. But I'm working on it. So
Yeah.
anyways, what else?
I did.
What do you guys got?
I did get. I found some other videos. Some other info on the bell tower. So when you return from your trip or whatnot, you could take a look at it.
Nice.
It showcases
Nice. Yeah.
some other fun. You know, the usual fuckery in this case, like some missing times and whatnot.
It is astounding to me how many little tricks that they've done on this case and gotten away with. I don't understand. I really don't fundamentally understand how we're in this
Oh, you're
stage.
gonna, yeah, you're gonna love it. One of the videos that I sent you, you'll see clear as day. There's like 5 minutes or something around there. That's just missing from the video. It just like disappears. Like,
why is this acceptable? Like, why is this acceptable?
uh,
I guess, but what can you do about it? At the end of the day, what can you do about it? I
yeah,
mean, you can't prosecute anybody. You can't arrest anybody. You can just sit there and bitch about that's not fair. Like, I don't know what the legal recourse
right.
is for the fuckery that they've done. I just
Yeah.
I don't know what we can do. I don't know who's allowed to file the lawsuits, who's allowed to start that process. I tell you this, I tell you, like, somebody asked me one time, what is your goal of this channel? What do you want to do? And I said, I want to make a difference. And that either means overturning a wrongful conviction or being part of overturning a wrongful conviction or putting some people's ass in jail that belongs in jail. That's what I want to do. I want to make a difference.
Yeah.
I want to see some people go to jail for this shit. That's what I'd like to find. If I can find a way to do it,
Yeah.
if I could hire an attorney, if I could get a GoFundMe thing set up to pay for an attorney, I'd try to spearhead prosecuting some of these people if it was possible. But
Yeah.
I don't know. I don't know how to do that yet. So
Yeah. Somebody asked if I was your wife, DA.
my
No.
wife would probably not appreciate that. But fair enough.
No worries there. Rhonda, no worries there. I'm the work wife.
I've had
I don't know.
yes. In my life, I've had at least two legitimate work wives that refer to me as my work wife. So I think my wife's used to that term as well. So yeah, it's all good.
DA, you're missing some good comments, man. There's some
Yep,
great
yep.
comments in the den.
Okay, what do we got here?
We've got a lot
Put
of
a
people that
pin
want to
him.
see you ride an e-bike.
I don't think they have. Well, they might have e-bikes in Pullman. I don't know. Maybe they have e-bikes in Pullman, but that wouldn't be the same as the e-bike in New York. That was a trip.
Yep.
Riding an e-bike downtown Manhattan in between taxis was a trip. As he walks past the to the gentleman's club. Yeah.
So I see Curious Cat is saying, do the Kohlbergers have a lawyer you could call or email?
So here's the thing. Um, here's the thing. I've been the families are the hardest part to reach out to. So while if the Kohlbergers wanted to do something, I'm sure they could reach out. I'm sure people want to be able to provide support to the Kohlbergers, but it's almost like you need, I don't know. I'm not the kind of person who's going to cold call the Kohlbergers and ask them if they want help. Somebody would have to know somebody who knows the Kohlbergers and put me in connection that way and set it up, because I'm not going to cold call a family member. I've never been that kind of guy. I'm not going to ever cold call a family member who may want to tell everybody to piss off. Now, here's the thing, though. I will tell you this as a side, because I just talk. If you remember the story of Christian Smart, she was a student that went missing decades ago in California. There was a podcaster, much like myself, who started a podcast called Your Own Backyard. And he said every day I drove past the sign of Christian Smart, realizing she was still missing. And he was basically a YouTuber podcast guy that did Your Own Backyard. And the family in that case was sick and tired of the case. They're sick and tired of reporters. They're sick and tired of a million questions. They had their theories about who killed their daughter, but they couldn't prove it. And they were just tired of anyone. And somehow this guy, Chris, from Your Own Backyard, did what I was doing. And I'm not trying to say that I was doing it anywhere as good as him, but he was just showing a politeness and a respectful manner of handling the case and asking questions. And eventually the family was like, if there's anybody I'm going to talk to, it's that guy. And they talked to him. And he broke the case, in my opinion, and he got the killer arrested, and that man is in jail now. And it was, and that was my inspiration. I'm like, holy shit, that guy just did the most incredible thing. He just got justice for the family because he asked the questions nobody else would fucking ask, got the family to trust him and open up. And he put somebody, in my opinion, Chris Lambert, I think his name was Chris Lambert from Your Own Backyard, put the real killer away, and it was amazing. Paul Flores, I think, was the person who killed Christian Smart. The family knew it. They could never prove it. He broke it. It was amazing. So he's my inspiration. But the story was leading back to the Kohlberger thing is he didn't just cold call the family. The family was sick and tired of it. He kind of had to prove himself as a person who can be trustworthy and respectful. And then they were like, okay, I'll listen. I'll talk to that guy. So, hopefully we can get to a point where something like that happens, where somebody is like, DA is somebody that I would talk to. Now, maybe I don't treat it respectfully, but I feel like I try to.
Yeah. How about the, it's not a murder case, but how about the football player, the sexual assault? I don't remember maybe you remember. I don't remember the guy's name, but
yes,
that outside guy that just got involved with starting protests and making a big deal because he believed that he was innocent.
Yeah. Yeah, and he literally called him on the show Outcry, which was like a 4 or 5 part series. They literally referred to this guy as an advocate, and he literally was doing what I'm doing. He's a guy that said, "This story sounds like bullshit," and started to ask questions and file requests for FOIAs and stuff like that, and started to put pressure on things. And he met with Greg Kelly, the man accused of molesting a little boy. And, he told him, if it turns out you are guilty of this, I have no sympathy for you whatsoever. But at the moment, I believe you're innocent, and I'm going to fight for your presumption of innocence. And that guy, that kid got screwed. And that advocate, my wife literally said, who the hell is this guy? Like, this guy's like a pit bull. Who the hell is he? And I'm like, He's me. He's an advocate. He's just a guy out there pissed off and saying, I'm going to fucking keep asking questions until somebody answers this question. So, but again, better than me. I'm still learning how to do that shit. But again, that is another prime example of what inspires me to do what we're doing.
Yeah.
my dream would be to do something like that. My dream would be that involved in a case where I can help. You know, I don't know how much that guy at the end of the day got Greg Kelly his overturned conviction or whatever. I don't know how much that guy did it, but I guarantee you that guy was an impact. That guy was a huge
Oh yeah,
impact in that.
yeah.
Yeah. So if you haven't seen that series, Outcry, do yourself a favor. Phenomenal show. Great, worth watching. And it's again, it's a lesson in a lot of things: wrongful convictions, short-sightedness or blindness of law enforcement. Some time when literally the chief of police was like, "Well, of course he's guilty. Nobody else has been accused of the crime." I just about lost my fucking shit. I'm like,
Yeah.
your literal reason for why the guy must be guilty is because he's the only person accused. Are you kidding me? Like, how are you the chief of police?
Yeah.
So I'm on a soapbox tonight.
Nothing wrong with that. All good stuff.
All right. So what else do we got? I mean, I don't know where to say goodnight. I mean, I'm walking the streets in a circle, trying to avoid the gentleman's club, getting ready to go out and have a drink with Joe, because I plan on riding his ass like a pony tomorrow, whipping him like a redheaded stepchild, and any other
Whoa,
euphemism I can
easy.
come up with. Easy.
So
How do we?
in your travels, I don't really have an address, but as you're walking around, driving around, again, see if you notice any a house or something that has some kind of water or some kind of water near it that's in Moscow over there.
Yeah, we'll have to talk about the details on that one. I think I know what you're talking about. Yeah.
Yeah.
Um, yeah, there's a lot of things we could look at that I'm afraid. This is what I'm afraid of. This is why I wanted some audience participation, is because I don't want to get back and have someone go, "Oh my God, you went all the way over there and you didn't do this." Like, if you want me to do something, you need to make sure you let me know. Short of go up and ask Payne why he did it, or something like that. You know, short of that, you better take your opportunity to find. And if you're afraid to say it publicly in front of the chat, then send an email to devilsadvocates2024@gmail.com and let me know what questions you think you would like to see a video of, or a timing of, or a drive-by of, or whatever the case may be.
Yeah. Critic Rick just asked how to get in touch, and I put the email in the chat. He said he may have some info for us. So
Perfect. Yeah, Critic Rick. I my hope, my dream is to not get shot, or stabbed, or jumped by 20 frat guys. Although I don't know. As much as you joke, I'm not sure Joe and I wouldn't put a little bit of a run into a fucking few frat guys. I don't know. I think there might be a chance. But that's just me. But anyways, point being is that I hope that doesn't happen. But I do hope there's got to be people out there who have been sitting on shit for a long time. And even if it's just a rumor that can be followed up on, that's all we're looking for right now is I guarantee you there are people in that community that know shit that are keeping their mouth shut. The fucking case is over. You can talk now. The case is over. The boogeyman's off the street. Anything you think you know or you saw or you heard, now's the time to say something. It's over. No,
Right.
so
Right.
say something. If you think that you always heard this or always heard that, or I know a guy that did this, now's the time. It's over, right? So you got nothing to lose. I would love to hear something that we can ask a question about that didn't get followed up on.
yeah,
It's
and I just
it's
put the link to
in,
our Discord in the chat, folks. So if you want to come over, you have questions, information, just hang out, talk about all the cases. Make sure you come on over to the Discord and hang out.
So any other stuff?
So there's a bunch of stuff that's kind of come out that's sort of like a speculation kind of thing. Like we don't know what the answer is. So a lot of some of the audio and whatnot that we hear around 3:45 from 11/13/2022, everyone's always assuming that the audio is from 1122, but there's some stuff out there that's saying that some of that audio may actually be from 620. I forget the straight name, but it's up Wakina Boulevard, I think, which is like
Yeah.
a street that's kind of in the back of 1122, and it's kind of up the hill. So there's a house at the top of the hill there, and supposedly they were having they're known to have a lot of parties, and supposedly there was some big party there that night as well. So
Yeah. That's good. Yeah. People sometimes get upset because of my reluctance to get into enhanced audios or any audios. Let me explain a few
right,
things about
right,
that while I have a moment. Even the audios, for example, with the bell towers, do you realize how easy it is to overlay a bell tower sound on any video you want to, or even to use a simple, it's super easy in Audacity or any of these tools to remove. When you hear this sound, clip this sound out. So I'm super, super nervous about all the
right,
enhanced audios, videos, whatever, because they're too easy to manipulate. And I already know, was it Olivia, one of the early true crime people that were all over the Koberger case, got the Gonzalez to go. I forgot what her thing was called, like Diary of Olivia or something like that. Or,
right,
anyways,
Chronicles of
she got
Olivia.
duped. Chronicles of Olivia. She got duped by a faked video. Somebody had faked a video to get 15 minutes of fame and say they had the video that showed something or whatever. She ran
right.
with it, and it turned out to not be true, and it discredited her. And so I've been super reluctant.
Yeah,
And let me tell you,
yeah,
like if you have a video, for example, that has somebody saying something, and then you've got another video where it's clear that same thing is being said and it's been overlaid, that's the kind of stuff I can put my teeth into. I'll be like, look, you can see this video. Here's the original. Here you can see that same word being clipped and put over top of this video. That kind of stuff you can sink your teeth into. But
right.
I'm super reluctant to jump all over enhanced audios. This is what you heard, especially, and as you know, and I won't beat the fuck out of it. Pardon my French. I'm trying to drop the F bombs less. But the stuff with the whole, here's what you're going to hear. You hear someone say Xana in the background. You hear,
Right,
and I hate to use this one, but you hear this guy rack his gun. Once you're told what you're going to hear, that's all
right,
your brain hears. And
right.
so
You're right.
it's easy to
You're
be
looking for
fooled
it.
into
Right,
that
right,
sense.
right,
Yeah.
right.
So
And
so
look,
you have to be careful.
right. And look what you showed. Look what you showed last night. So on top of the fact of, um, you know, there are plenty of people out there that, like you said, just for whatever their goal is, a quick laugh, or they just want to stir the pot or see what kind of nonsense they can do with manipulating audio and whatnot. And when you get involved with, like, enhancing and changing layers and whatnot, like at what point, like, is it the real audio or not? Like,
Yeah.
so it's
Yeah.
hard because how
Yeah.
do you determine? But look what you showed yesterday. Uh, clear as day, there was some kind of, you know, DWI accident, right? Outside,
Right.
on 11/12. That there's no dispute that the accident happened on
Right.
11/12 at, what was it,
Right.
11:40 at night?
Yeah. Yeah.
But now
Right.
look, but now
Yeah.
look, but now look at the timestamp of all the body cameras. What the hell is that crap?
Right. Right. How do you right?
It doesn't
I
make any
mean,
sense. It makes zero
it
sense.
doesn't. Right. I still can't wrap my
And I
for
can't,
those who missed
and I
it.
can't,
Yeah.
I can't even give you, I can't give you an answer. And I, you know,
Um,
I'm current law enforcement, and we use the Axon body camera. We may even use the same exact software that they
I
have.
I want to
And
address this here.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
No, no one is knocking Outcast. Outcast does spectacular work. We're saying that we here don't have his capabilities and his equipment. So no, Outcast is amazing. So no, that is definitely not a knock at Outcast.
What about me being reluctant on enhanced audios?
Right,
Is that
right. Yeah.
what
No,
they're
we're
saying?
not knocking Outcast whatsoever.
Yeah.
And then one
Right.
thing I wanted to say about coming to Idaho is for me, I legitimately wanted to come back to Idaho just to get to see the state more. And DA knows the state. And I just thought, hey, if we go at this time, we could do a little tour of the different areas and record it. We had no intention of trying to, like, harass anybody or cause
Yeah.
any stir any shit up. We were just like, yeah, maybe we'll do it and we'll film some stuff and we'll do some lives and we'll get some content of these areas that people are interested in. And I have been interested in Idaho since pretty long before this case even came to be. So we're not looking to, like, upset the locals or anything. I live in a mountain town. I know how it is. Like, people are territorial. You live in a small town. There's a lot of visitors coming from outside of the area. So we're not looking to stir up anything or ruffle any feathers. If anything, just check out the vibe of the place, see some different areas, check out some of the
Yeah.
locations that we're all familiar with at this point. And we joke around, and we're gonna definitely tour around and get footage and stuff, but we have no interest in. We've talked about it, stirring anything up. Except we really did contemplate breaking Brian out of prison, but we thought better of it, so we
I
decided not to do that. But as far as the other stuff goes,
I
we're
will
just
tell you, I did reach out to one. I did reach out to one person, not super related to the case, and I want to tell you who it is and what. So I reached out. Well, I won't tell you the exact name, but I reached. So there was a book written by Howard Bloom, "When the Night Comes Falling." A large part of Howard Bloom's book was about the Kirkers, a church group in Moscow that has a huge problem with drugs and the partying and whatever. And there's half of the town that's uber religious and half the town that's not. And the Kirkers had a falling out with the MPD, specifically over COVID, it sounded like. They were trying to make people wear masks, and it kind of got into the whole religious abridging religious freedoms and whether they have to wear masks in a religious ceremony or whatever. And there was a falling out between MPD and the church, and they did not have, according to Bloom, any love for the police department, and were critical of how the police department handled various things. So the one person I did reach out to was the church organization. They have a mega church with about 5 or 6 pastors, the main pastor and like 5 associate pastors. Their answer to me when I said, "Hey, look, I'm a true crime podcaster. I read in Howard Bloom's book that there was some animosity between the church and MPD. I would just like to see if I could talk to one of your pastors to discuss Moscow in general, how you feel about the community and partying and the drugs and the whatever, and maybe a little bit of your feelings about how law enforcement handled the situation." And the email I got back was, "Thanks for your request, but we're just too busy to talk to you. Have a good day." So all 5 of their pastors were too busy to talk to me, had no interest in talking to me, and wished me a good, cordial day. And so it was polite exchange, but that was the only person I reached out to. And like everybody in Moscow, nobody wants to talk about anything, even though they weren't even on the cusp of the thing. They just were peripherally related in a really, really roundabout way. They're still like, "Yeah, we're not interested in talking. Have a nice day." So,
So
so
just to bring up, I saw there was some comments. So just to reiterate about the enhanced audio stuff. So what Lee's referring to, just some people, they'll take some stuff with audio and then they'll be like, oh, you hear this, oh, you hear that, and and then your mind, you're like already having your mind. That's what you're trying to hear. So that's what he's talking about. He's not referring to. So Outcast has a special. I don't know. I've watched a bunch of his stuff. I don't know exactly what his job is. He's obviously very specifically talented at. He does stuff
Yep.
with audio, and I think he's only been involved in this case maybe about a year, or maybe it's a little less than a year. And I did see his video recently. He did a whole bunch of stuff involving the 911 call, which is super interesting. And you'll see when he talks about it, um, he doesn't really even tell you like, oh, well, this is what he'll play the 911 tape, then he'll play, you know, whatever magic or whatever he was able to do with the audio, and he'll say, you tell me what you hear. He doesn't even like, because he's an audio person, so he knows how we think. And it's super interesting because he basically, when you hear the 911 call again, you'll hear that there's like a bunch of static and whatnot that somehow was like added in to it definitely was added in. um right in the beginning when Dylan is speaking, and that you compare, there's a male voice that's kind of talking in the background, and then later on in the call you can hear more of a male voice. The male voice at the near the end of the call seems to be Hunter Johnson. Like, you can kind of, he has a little more high, like his voice is a little more higher pitched, and the male voice that you hear kind of in the beginning doesn't really match the male voice towards the end. So what is, that would leave you to the determination that, well, so who is this other male that's at the house?
Right.
It's just interesting.
Yeah, and to be fair, I have no problem with people looking at that information. All I'm telling you is I'm not going to spend a bunch of time
Right.
speculating about things
Right.
like you heard a dog, therefore it must be Murphy. Is he the only dog in the neighborhood? So I'm not going to get into arguments about here you hear Murphy barking at such and such time. I'm like, because then I get people mad at me when I'm like, what you heard is a dog bark. You don't know that's
Right.
Murphy. Do you know Murphy's
Right.
bark? So
Right.
you're going to tell me now that I just heard Murphy barking and I don't know what dog I heard barking is the only dog.
Right.
So I
Right.
don't want to fight with everybody about what you're
Yeah,
hearing in
and
the
you're
audio.
right.
I'll just
Right.
stay out
Right.
of that. You know?
And I'll tell you even more. Is I read another article today, just some food for thought. I'm not saying that this is what happened. All of us, we clearly hear, the 417 at 417. You hear the dog starts going crazy and everything and whatever. Now, you see all this other manipulation. It's clear manipulation that, how do you have a camera, like you'll see with the bells and whatever. One of the videos I showed you, there's like 4 minutes that is like cut off of one of the videos. Why is there time that's like cut off of the video? Super super weird. Well, what if, just to give people an idea, that dog that's barking and whatever. Yeah, maybe it really is Murphy barking or another dog barking, but maybe that whole thing didn't even happen at 417. Maybe that what you hear in the background, maybe that's added in. There's no way for us to really verify that. So,
Yeah. So, anyways, yeah, I did. It's not to try to disparage anybody who's done work with enhanced audios or disparage anybody who has theories based on the enhanced audios. I'm just simply explaining why I shy away from them. I'm a different kind of content creator. I feel like those of you who like my show like the fact that I won't jump on shit early, that I look for a little bit more receipts and a story before I jump on it. So you've watched me before with other content creators who want me to jump on something brand new, and I'm like, man, I can't just jump on this and start making opinions like they're freaking assholes and they all stink, like right off the bat. Like I have to think about it for a while. That's just my thing. But
Yeah. Well, it's super easy to fool people with video, with audio, you know.
yeah, and I don't even think it's always done on purpose. Sometimes people are just literally,
No,
it's the same. It's the
no,
same.
you're right.
Yeah,
It's
yeah.
not, you're right. It's not always done on purpose, but in this case, I think there's a lot of stuff that was done on purpose.
Yeah, and you
Keep in
know,
I
mind.
really do.
like with audio and visual stuff, Da and I were talking while we were driving today about like different psychology classes that we took,
Right.
and I
Right.
told him one of the most interesting but also the most difficult classes I ever took was perception, which
Uh-huh.
deals with the cerebral cortex and how you perceive your different
Right.
senses. And
Right.
anybody who studied the laws of perception is you people will see things that will be impacted by their opinions. Literally.
Right.
Like, for example, that notorious picture of the close up of Brent Kopaka's eye and his
Right.
last Facebook post, right?
Right,
Right.
right.
People see different things. If you read all the different comments when that was first going around, people were seeing countless different things. That's their perception of it. That's the way
Right.
their brain is organizing what they see. And it's the same exact thing with audio. You will
Right.
perceive things and it's going to be colored by your belief system. It's literally the way the human brain works. There's no way around it. The way you
Right.
Right.
ideas
And
you already have in your head are going to shape what you see and hear.
yeah,
And that
yeah, and that
yeah.
yeah,
Yeah, go
yeah.
ahead. Go
Sorry.
ahead.
Well, and that's the thing. Like, and the worst part about it. And by the way, Lola said that she loves that my restraint that I show, and so I appreciate that very much. I think the thing is that when a lot of people, when they see something like the Brent Kopaka's, if you zoom in super close and you look at the reflection in his eye and he's posting "I see you," that's Koberger's house in the reflection, and then that becomes a thing to shoot down. You're a fucking idiot. You can see Koberger's house in his eye, and you're like, no, you can't. Like, you don't know what you're seeing. It's fine that you
Right,
believe
right,
that's what you
right,
saw, but don't call everybody idiot because now it's been proven Koberger's house was in the reflection of Kopaka's eye on this picture off the phone that was zoomed in on 2,000 times. It's like, I it just if you believe that's what you see, that's fine, and and then
right,
and then and then find other pieces to support it. Here's the proof that Kopaka was standing there. Here's the proof that he knows their house. Build a story that's believable, but don't just go, this is the picture that proves it, and now everyone's an asshole if you don't go with my version of that picture. You know what I'm saying?
right,
That's what
right.
bothers me so much.
And then I think that some of that stuff too goes to the bigger picture of kind of what JJ, what you talk about, and Esty, whether it's a psyop or some kind of operation, that these people that are able, that have the overall access, that can manipulate and change, they kind of know what the default they kind of know what the default or the perception it's going to cause with some of the manipulation. So
Right.
like what I mean by that is, like for my example that I just said, well, if they're trying to paint a picture that Kohlberger is the guilty one, and he arrived at 407 in the white Elantra, and look, you hear Murphy is barking, and you hear a dog barking and going crazy at 417. Well, there's no there's no dispute. I've probably watched that video 50 times, and you hear the dog barking. There's clearly a dog barking. But if it's something that they manipulated and they inserted that, you know, that could. they're trying to, it could go along. This is the perception that they want you to believe that this is when the crime took place.
Right.
So I could definitely see like what Esty and what you say. There's so many other manipulations and so many other things that don't make sense. Why wouldn't they do that?
Right.
If they,
And the craziest thing is, like, I just so I can clarify a couple of things, because most people probably have no idea anything about me from before I ever came on the show and stuff. But I can totally get why a lot of people think some of the things like I might propose, or even Estes Crime Maze, and some of the things that DA and I speak about on Deep Devils is like, I don't, that's crazy. What are you talking about? There is a background for everything that I talk about. I can promise you that. Like, when I talk about certain things and I relate them to true crime and things like that, is because I've read countless things, I've researched things of operations that have happened in America and around the world. So the people that don't know about this information, it would be normal for them to be like, I don't, that doesn't make any sense. But then when you
Right.
right,
learn that operations are going on all the time, and they're a
right,
lot of times, often, most of the time, they're covert, and you don't hear about them till many years later. And then you start reading about it, and books get written and documents come out, and you find out, like, that's why when I say it's an op, I think it's an op. It's because if you look at the history of both psychological operations, or all kinds of operations, these are not uncommon things. They're just uncommon to your average person who doesn't know about them. And so,
right,
and I say it all the time, and I'll say it again. When any high profile situations are involved, or big money is involved, which universities are big money. Universities are directly tied to the global banking industry. What do you think? Student loans, investments in universities, it's tied to the banking, big banking. When I say banking, I mean the big banks. So that is why it brings to mind why there might be cover-ups, why lies might be told about certain things. It could have nothing to do with MPD. They're just given their marching
right,
orders. And in
right,
fact, I'll even say this: the surviving roommates, they may have been given marching orders of what to say and how to act. That's a possibility, because we
hmm,
know that the stuff doesn't add up between what we were told in the beginning and then what came out
Look,
afterwards, and the 911 call and other body cam footage. We know that now. But they could have
look,
been given marching orders.
J- uh, um, Steve Gonzalez basically has admitted he was given marching orders. He had somebody in the FBI telling him, "Shut your mouth. We've got this. We got it taken care of. Don't do this. Don't do that. Don't talk to this person." He's now said all those things. I know a lot of people aren't fans of Steve Gonzalez, but along your lines, he's an example of somebody who's basically admitted he was
yeah,
told what to say and not to say. Steve eventually, and this is what made everybody freak out about Steve Gonzalez, is he hired his own private attorney, or sorry, his own private investigator, and said, "I'm not going to sit back and let you tell me what happened to my daughter. I want to find out what happened myself." And he was at war with them. But at times, I feel like personally, a lot of what can explain Steve's behavior was at times they got to him and they got him to calm down for a while. And they're like, "Shut the hell up, Steve. We have a document, a conversation. I think it was with Nancy Grace, where he admitted Hitler told him, 'Shut your mouth, Steve, or we're not going to have a case. We're not going to have a trial,' kind of thing." So they were.
right,
There's a way of saying that they were handling everyone in this case. They were telling the family what they can and can't say. They were telling the family what to say. And so, yeah, so I totally agree with you, Joe. And maybe not the points that you're trying to make, but if they were doing that with the families, how many people were they telling, "Don't say this, do say this, we've got it, don't, how much coaching was going on, and how many people voluntarily thought they were doing the right thing sitting on their hands and not talking and not asking questions because they were told, we got the guy, trust us, just let us do our work and we'll get him for you. Don't go on TV, don't talk about it, don't do this. And most people shut up, but a few people didn't. And then we get freaked out about what they shared because it's not consistent. And I think that's explained because at times they went rogue, and at times they got back in line, and at times they went rogue again, and at times they were brought back in line. And I think that explains a lot what was happening there.
So
Yeah.
I got a question for JJ. It was gonna be for JJ and Esty. I know we lost Esty.
Yeah, I don't know where he
Um,
went.
yeah. So I was on his live earlier, and I asked him the same question, and he briefly answered. He actually told me to ask it again. So I'll ask it. Maybe if I see him tomorrow or another time, I'll ask it again. So. Uh, so JJ, let me ask you. So if we go down the rabbit hole that we believe that this was some kind of psyop, right? That the four there was no homicide. That this was some kind of extraction. Um, I'm not sure if you're in the camp that you believe that or you think it's possible. But my question is, if it was some kind of extraction, right? What what role, why wasn't Bethany and Dylan extracted then? And I know Esty said, well, maybe because they weren't in danger, they weren't at risk or whatnot. But wouldn't it, they would know too much info though? Like why wouldn't they be extracted as well? I'm just curious, like what you think about that.
Yeah. Well, first of all, you'd have to agree to it. They can't just
Right.
take you away. So, if there were people that were CIs and were more directly involved with something, some kind of government operation as confidential informants, they may have had legitimate reason to believe they were more at risk, and the the other two may not have been involved with that side of it, or
Right.
quite honestly, yeah, I'm not sure about the extraction. I look at it and say it's a possibility.
Right.
It's a
Right.
definite possibility. I can't. I'm getting tired of hearing myself say this. Like, this is the most convoluted case I've ever seen, for the simple reason that there are so many possibilities for alternative theories, and not just ones that, like, I could make up crazy stuff about any
Right.
case and just make it up. But in this
Right.
particular case, there are legitimately potential things that could have played out, like,
Well,
and have been realistic,
right, right. Well, we also know that other things were going on in the background. So it's
Right.
not even that we know that there was some kind of drug operation going on, or whatever, or something with the Aryan Nation, and the fact that this, Josh, whatever his name is, I forget his last name now. The new lawyer that was added,
Hurts.
at Hurts. Yeah, the fact
Yeah.
that he was added. I mean, there's definitely other outside things. This was not just a normal, just some psycho killing there's definitely something else going on here.
Yeah, and it's just, and there's so many different things that were going on. There's the
Yeah.
potential deal with the University of Phoenix. There was the trafficking operations, the drug task force, right? There was a
Right.
multi. I'm so tired, my brain's not working, but you know what I'm trying to say. There was that task force, and then the rumors. Like, I remember from day one in this case, and I know I always preface it by saying I know that they were rumors, that that was a a house where allegedly people went to get drugs. And I've said it all along, like that would seem perfectly plausible and not controversial. As someone who lived in big party houses numerous times in my life, I know what
Right.
goes on in big party houses. It's like these aren't like little angels, they're college kids.
Right.
And
Right.
every party house that I lived at, there was always somebody connected to the house that sold drugs. Because if you
Right.
think about it, if you're a drug dealer, you want to be associated with a house that's like the big party house.
Of course.
And
Of
they always
course.
they
Oh,
Yeah.
always
yeah.
find their way to that house.
Right.
So that right there, I think plays a bit. See, it's so funny how so many things around this case, they always try to shun the idea that there were drugs involved. You know, the mainstream media, oh, these crazy theories, these crazy rumors. They're not crazy. It would
Right.
make logical sense. You have a party house off campus, and if there was stuff going on in that area, that's the thing. You just never know what's going on in an area, because what we hear about, if people are from that area, they know what's going on. The problem is how many people actually want to come out and say anything about it, because in a small area, a small community, everybody knows everybody's business. Rumors get around. People know things, and people may have not wanted to expose themselves by talking about the things they knew. That's why I often say the early rumors sometimes in a case are worth paying attention to, because it's before the zone gets flooded too much. You hear like
Right.
chatter, like we heard the morning of. Students knew about it before the 911 call, right? There were students that said in their group chats, people knew about it.
Yeah.
You know, it's plausible to me. But to answer your question, I went around the block a few times. I think it's possible that it was an extraction operation. There are things that could support that idea for sure. But
You know, Joe. Speaking of been around the block a few times, this is taking me back to the college days when I'm pacing my block. My roommate's like, "Hey, if you come back to the apartment and there's a pair of shoes hanging on the door, I'm getting lucky. So stay the hell away." I'm circling my apartment, wanting to come back. It's cold outside. I want to come back. I want to sleep in my bed. But Joe's got the freaking shoes on the outside of the bed, going, "Dude, I'm getting lucky. Stay the hell away. I'm busy in here." So I honestly think, all kidding aside, you and I, Joe, need to go out, have a couple of drinks, and retire, because we got a long day ahead of us tomorrow.
Yep.
right on.
So I
Here,
want
here.
to, with that note, not to wrap up the show and kill it with one fell swoop, but Joe and I do literally have a full day tomorrow. I already told him, hey, you know what? I made a mistake on my itinerary. We need to get started at like 7 instead of 8. He's like, oh hell no, that's not happening. And I'm like, yeah, it's happening. So we're gonna go have a drink or two. I'm gonna slip a Quaalude into his drink so he gets a nice sleep tonight. I'm just kidding about that. We will see you guys in the morning.
Don't
Thank you
roofie me,
guys.
man. Don't
I
roofie
won't.
me,
I won't.
GA.
See, I didn't say roofie. I specifically did not say roofie, just so it wouldn't be as weird.
You're
So,
not
anyways,
having your way with me tonight, GA.
all right. Well, it's all fair. Right now, I'm locked out of my own apartment, so it's all good, or all my hotel room. But anyways, for the plan tomorrow night, by the way, is that we will try to have the live at the same time. Robin, I think, is the plan. The plan is Robin's going to do it with or without us. Joe and I may be dialing in, kind of like I'm doing right now. Only the next time I may be walking the streets of a place nearer and dearer to the case of Idaho 4. So for me, I'm out. I'm going to sign off and go to try to get in my apartment. If you guys want to hang out for a minute and say goodbyes, do so. Thanks, everybody, from Boise, Idaho. I'll see you tomorrow from Moscow and Pullman.
Goodbye,
See you
everybody.
guys.
Right.
Take care.
Goodbye, everyone.
I'll see you guys soon.
Have a good night.
Good
Yeah.
night.
Be well. Tommy Jude.
Peace out,
Yep.
everybody.